The New Physics Project by George, an alternative framework for fundamental physics. George's New Physics Project proposes a radical reconceptualization of fundamental principles in modern physics, offering an alternative framework for understanding the behaviors of matter, energy, and space. This project does not seek to incrementally adjust existing physical laws, but rather to construct a novel theoretical foundation. Central to this initiative is a transformative hypothesis. The mass defect observed in nuclear reactions, conventionally attributed to conversion into energy via Einstein's equation, is instead posited to undergo an explosive transformation into a previously unidentified, ultrafine form of matter. This newly proposed substance, termed ether, is presented not as a theoretical construct but as a real, space-filling medium, a contemporary reinterpretation of an archaic concept. In contrast to earlier ether models, which were largely discredited in the early 20th century, George's ether is theorized to be generated during nuclear reactions and to exert an active physical influence on the dynamics of energy, matter, and fundamental forces throughout the cosmos. The project thus transcends a mere critique of established theories, presenting a comprehensive alternative replete with its own predictive capabilities, experimental methodologies, and far-reaching implications across physics, cosmology, and technology. Within mainstream physics, mass and energy are considered interconvertible, a principle codified by Einstein's equation. This equation posits that a minute quantity of mass can be transformed into a substantial amount of energy, thereby elucidating the immense power released during nuclear reactions such as fission and fusion. In this paradigm, the mass defect, the observed decrease in mass during a nuclear reaction, is directly accounted for as its conversion into pure energy. The New Physics Project by George, an alternative framework for fundamental physics. George's New Physics Project proposes a radical reconceptualization of fundamental principles in modern physics, offering an alternative framework for understanding the behaviors of matter, energy, and space. This project does not seek to incrementally adjust existing physical laws, but rather to construct a novel theoretical foundation. Central to this initiative is a transformative hypothesis. The mass defect observed in nuclear reactions, conventionally attributed to conversion into energy via Einstein's equation, is instead posited to undergo an explosive transformation into a previously unidentified, ultrafine form of matter. This newly proposed substance, termed ether, is presented not as a theoretical construct but as a real, space-filling medium, a contemporary reinterpretation of an archaic concept. In contrast to earlier ether models, which were largely discredited in the early 20th century, George's ether is theorized to be generated during nuclear reactions and to exert an active physical influence on matter and fundamental forces throughout the cosmos. The project thus transcends a mere critique of established theories, presenting a comprehensive alternative replete with its own predictive capabilities, experimental methodologies, and far-reaching implications across physics, cosmology, and technology. Within mainstream physics, mass and energy are considered interconvertible, a principle codified by Einstein's equation. This equation posits that a minute quantity of mass can be transformed into a substantial amount of energy, thereby elucidating the immense power released during nuclear reactions such as fission and fusion. In this paradigm, the mass defect, the observed decrease in mass during a nuclear reaction, is directly accounted for as its conversion into pure energy. George's alternative postulation. George critically challenges this foundational tenet, asserting that mass does not directly convert into energy. Instead, he proposes an explosive transition of mass into an entirely novel physical entity, a hyperfine, imperceptible form of matter that behaves as a pervasive fluidic or mediumistic substance throughout space. This transformation is conceptualized as a shock event, a rapid, energetic discharge, analogous to a microscopic Big Bang occurring within each nuclear interaction. The resulting fine matter, once generated, subsequently interacts with proximate particles, facilitating kinetic energy transfer and influencing the post-reaction state. This theoretical reformulation introduces a fundamentally new mechanism for energy genesis in nuclear reactions. Rather than a direct mass-to-energy conversion, energy is mediated through a matter-based medium that physically transmits energy through interaction. This offers a fresh perspective on energy conservation, propagation, and potentially novel methodologies for energy storage and retrieval. Reintroduction of ether as a pervasive medium. Historically, ether was conceived as an invisible ubiquitous substance facilitating the propagation of light waves, akin to air transmitting sound. However, this concept was largely abandoned in the early 20th century subsequent to the Michelson-Morley experiment and the ascendancy of Einsteinian relativity, which obviated the need for such a luminiferous medium. Einstein's perspective posited space itself as the medium, with light propagating at a constant velocity irrespective of observer motion, leading to the prevailing belief that the vacuum of space is truly devoid of physical substance. George's modern ether. George revives the ether concept within a modernized, evidence-oriented framework. In his model, ether originates from the mass defect in nuclear reactions. Over cosmological timescales, as these reactions proliferate across the universe, from stellar interiors to particle accelerators, this fine matter progressively accumulates, ultimately permeating all of space. Unlike the rigid, mechanistic ether of the 19th century, George's ether is characterized as dynamic, reactive, and responsive. It interacts with both matter and light, modulating their behavior contingent upon its local density. Significance. The hypothetical existence of this space-filling matter profoundly alters our understanding of empty space. It suggests that what is conventionally considered a vacuum is, in fact, replete with an invisible material that subtly influences particle motion, light deflection, and force propagation. This directly challenges long-standing assumptions in both cosmology and quantum field theory. A novel explanation for relativistic phenomena. Within Einstein's general relativity, gravitation is elucidated as the curvature of spacetime induced by the presence of mass and energy. Light and matter subsequently traverse geodesic paths within this curved geometry. Phenomena such as gravitational lensing, time dilation, and orbital precession are all interpreted through the analytical lens of curved spacetime. George's reinterpretation, refraction, and interaction with fine matter. George proposes an alternative to spacetime curvature, introducing a more tangible concept: refraction and interaction with varying densities of ether. For instance, gravitational lensing is posited to occur due to light passing through denser regions of ether near massive objects, leading to its deflection in a manner analogous to light bending through a lens or a fluid medium. Time dilation is not attributed to an intrinsic slowing of time itself, but rather to the increased energetic expenditure required for motion through denser ether, effectively decelerating physical processes. The orbital precession of Mercury can be accounted for by the subtle, non-uniform spatial distribution of ether in the vicinity of the Sun. These are not merely semantic distinctions. They generate new, empirically testable predictions. If George's hypothesis holds, It should be possible to detect and quantify variations in light behavior and particle motion that correlate with ether density gradients, distinct from gravitational field strength alone. Microscopic analysis of spent nuclear fuel, an experimental proving ground. If the mass defect explosively transforms into fine matter, then each nuclear fission or fusion event should generate minuscule shockwaves. Over time, particularly within nuclear reactors, and interaction these localized explosions are hypothesized to leave behind discernible gravitational lensing is posited to occur due to light passing through denser regions. Postulates that spent nuclear fuel, having undergone thousands or millions of nuclear reactions, constitutes an ideal natural laboratory for empirical validation of his theory. Expected evidence. Localized damaged structures. Description. Microscopic regions within the material exhibiting disruption, such as cracking, deformation, or localized melting. Formation mechanism. Shockwaves emanating from the explosive transformation of the mass defect would propagate through the material, inducing radial cracks, disordered amorphous zones, and nanostructural disruptions. Detection. Transmission electron microscopy, TEM, scan. Detection, transmission electron microscopy, TEM, scanning electron microscopy, SEM, nanoscale metallic particles. Description. Ultrafine metallic grains formed from recondensed vaporized atoms during rapid cooling.
Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello. This is my latest book, published today. It is available in Kindle format. Today from tomorrow for 5 days. My book will be available for free for 5 days from tomorrow. So if you are interested, you can purchase my book. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you very much joining me. My book is available for purchase from tomorrow for 5 days. You can purchase my book for free. This book discusses about the microscopic analysis of how the microscopic changes in a spent nuclear fuel helps to validate the explosive the hypothesis, the exploding mass defect hypothesis. According to this study, the missing mass creates micro explosions. This can be experimentally and empirically prove that the mass defect associated with the nuclear reaction creates powerful micro explosions, and this explosion in fact is caused by a change in the state of matter. In fact, the missing mass or missing matter is explosively transformed into a new form of matter, and this, according to this study, the space itself is filled with this form of matter. Since mass defect is a universally occurrent phenomenon, every active star, supernova explosions, black hole mergers, all these creates powerful explosions. All these events creates mass defect on a large results in the mass defect large scale, and these mass defects are explosively transformed into a space in a form of matter. So this study says that the space itself is filled with a form of matter. So all phenomena currently we look and study through the lens of special and general relativity, and quantum mechanics can be explained with this the help of this space in matter. It's a groundbreaking discovery. Now I am preparing my research paper which discuss how the microscopic analysis of spent nuclear fuel helps to validate this hypothesis, which is a groundbreaking discovery. I am working on my paper for peer review. Hopefully in 1 or 2 months it will be available. I will submit for peer review, and hopefully it will get published in a reputed journal, scientific journal. So today I published a book discussing about how the microscopic analysis helps to validate this concept. So it will be a great revolution. If I say it will be a revolution in science, in physics, and it will I think it will be a leap in the understanding of how universe works, and how mass, matter, and energy are interconnected. In fact, according to Einstein, mass and energy are interchangeable. Mass is uh, creates is converted into kinetic energy of reaction products. However, this theory does not explain how the microscopy explanation for how in actually the missing mass give kinetic energy to the reaction products. So, in fact, according to special theory of relativity, mass and energy are two sides of the same coin, and one can be converted to energy. In fact, however, according to my research, this is not true. In fact, mass and energy, or matter and energy, are two different entities. Matter cannot become energy or vice versa. In fact, the observed phenomena in nuclear physics, radioactivity or nuclear fission or fusion, or in particle collider experiment, the missing mass, in fact, it creates a powerful explosion, and this explosion propels the reaction products. So, in fact, explosion means it's a volumetric expansion of something. So, this explosion is clearly is a demonstration of the volumetric expansion of the missing mass. So, this when we observe, when we closely look the spent nuclear fuel, in fact, spent nuclear fuel is a vast resource of experimental evidences for the explosive transformation of the missing mass. When we closely observe the changes that is happening to changes happens to the material, spent nuclear material, there are numerous evidences which can be very clearly we can link this explosive mechanism to the changes happening, physical changes happening to the nuclear material, spent nuclear material. But that is the core concept I discuss in this book, this latest book. From tomorrow, for 5 days, my book will be available for free. You can get my book, and also tomorrow, day after tomorrow, my print book also will be released on Amazon. I have given the link in the description, the purchase link to the book. So that is the new updates about my in fact, the space-filling matter helps to explain all phenomena which are currently being explained or studied through the lens of special and general relativity. In fact, there is a better alternative explanation for all phenomena which are currently we look and study through the lens of special and general relativity. So the space-filling matter is is going to revolutionize our understanding of the universe. In fact, UFO phenomena is one of my research interest. There are numerous UFO incidents reported across the world. Even today, we don't have a proper explanation, or if still it remains as a mystery. There are these objects coming from what are their energy source and all that. I also I don't have any idea about that, but I can tell according to my study, the propulsion and the hovering and all other peculiar behavior of the UFO or UAP phenomena, I strongly believe that there is a role in the space-filling matter. The space-filling matter, I think that the space-filling matter helps its propagation and hovering and all that. Since space-filling matter is space is filled with this form of matter, and as a form of matter, this is attracted by massive bodies such as planets, stars, all that. So the surrounding space near a massive body, it has a dense region. So it adds its hovering is so. Since the space, I sincerely believe that there is a strong connection between the or if the space-filling matter helps the propulsion of UFOs, UAPs. So it opens up a new possibility of developing so this opens up new possibilities, and in fact the space-filling matter, I hope it will open up new possibilities in space exploration and the understanding of the universe, and the cosmic explosions such as supernova and other events, large-scale events in the universe, how these large-scale objects creates large-scale phenomena like large-scale explosions such as supernova or other black hole mergers or neutron collisions, how they the missing matter happens to a missing mass, and how it impacts and all the related phenomena, gravitational wave. In fact, according to my research, gravitational waves are nothing but is ripples in created by large-scale mass defects. In fact, the interferometer in the LIGO and Virgo observatories, in fact, they detected, because when a large-scale mass defect, the explosion like no pressure collisions happens, it creates a large amount of space-filling matter in a moment. Is instant creation of this space-filling matter, and the explosion of the exploding space-filling matter creates ripples in the space. This ripples travels through space through the space-filling matter. So when these ripples passes through the observatory, it creates its propagation. The laser beams in the arms will get affected by the ripples. So this can influence the light waves, so it can create disturbance, or we can create observed disturbances. So we incorrectly misinterpret as the evidence of my gravitational wave. So according to studies, yes, according to the exploding mass defect hypothesis, the observed detected signals are nothing but ripples in the space filling matter. So I believe that every even our star sun creates ripples. So if you increase the sensitivity of this inframeter, detect even the disturbances created by our own sun. So it will create a vast area of research field. It opens up the opportunity of large area, a vast area of research areas. So it will be a really it will be a groundbreaking achievement for human. So the exploding mass defect hypothesis, in fact, I developed the explanation for how nuclear energy is released in 1994. I was some 20 years old that time. That time, I in my notebook I made a note about how nuclear energy is released. So it's very long. It's a long history of my research. I published many books on Amazon. My research, I have received support from my dear friend, my Daniel MacDonald from USA. In fact, he helped me. So I mentioned his contribution in my books. So I thank him. I must thank him for his support. So from tomorrow, for 5 days, my book will be available for free. Kindle book, also my printed book will be also available. I hope from tomorrow it will be online for purchase. So that is the latest updates from my side.
Joseph George, an independent researcher, has developed a new physics project that challenges several established theories, including Einstein's mass-energy equivalence and the current understanding of atomic structure and the nature of light. Here's a breakdown of his key proposals. Ether and space-filling matter. This fine matter, he proposes, fills the cosmos and acts as a space-filling medium or ether, challenging the relativistic view of space-time. Alternative explanations. George's ether provides alternative explanations for various phenomena, including nuclear energy release, relativistic effects, gravitational waves, atomic structure, light propagation, dark matter, and dark energy. Joseph George, an independent researcher, has developed a new physics project
The New Physics Project by Joseph George is an ambitious and deeply original scientific initiative that seeks to rethink some of the most foundational assumptions in modern physics. It challenges long-held theories, including aspects of Einstein's relativity, quantum field interpretations, and the standard model of particle physics, by proposing a new, unifying framework rooted in the transformative behavior of mass defect and the existence of a space-filling form of matter. Core ideas of the New Physics Project. 1. Exploding Mass Defect Hypothesis. At the heart of the project is the bold proposal that mass defect, the difference in mass before and after a nuclear reaction, is not just a passive release of energy, but involves a microscopic explosion. According to Joseph George, this explosion produces not just energy, but a new ultrafine form of matter, which disperses into space. This reinterpretation could shift our understanding of how energy is actually released during nuclear fission and fusion. Evidence is drawn from electron microscopy of spent nuclear fuel, which Joseph argues shows signs of localized shock waves and microstructural ruptures, physical scars of this explosive mass transformation. 2. Space-filling matter as a universal medium. The project posits the existence of an extremely thin, invisible, and pervasive form of matter created by countless mass defects across the universe. Unlike the classical ether theories dismissed in the 20th century, this new medium is dynamic and forms gradients around massive bodies. This provides an alternative explanation for several phenomena. Bending of starlight, gravitational lensing, is reinterpreted as refraction through denser zones of this invisible matter. Relativistic effects, such as time dilation and length contraction, are viewed not as abstract geometric consequences, but as physical interactions between moving bodies and this universal medium. 3. Rewriting Maxwell and Lorentz. Joseph George revisits classical field equations like Maxwell's equations with the intent of restoring physical intuition lost in modern abstraction. He argues that electromagnetic waves, including radio waves, interact with this ultrafine medium, leading to refinements in how we understand propagation, radiation pressure, and field boundaries. He also critiques the Lorentz transformations, suggesting they describe observable consequences of motion through this universal medium, rather than geometry itself changing. 4. Microscopic evidence as theoretical anchor. Unlike many purely theoretical frameworks, the New Physics Project is empirically grounded. Joseph's emphasis on microscopic imaging of nuclear materials serves as both evidence and predictive testing ground. He encourages physicists to reanalyze spent nuclear fuel, not just for waste management, but as a cosmic data archive that holds signatures of matter-energy transformation events. 5. Experimental and predictive outlook. The project offers testable predictions, including shockwave patterns in fission residues, anisotropic scattering of radio waves near dense objects, measurable refractive gradients near large masses without invoking spacetime curvature, broader vision and impact. Joseph George's New Physics Project is not merely a critique of current paradigms, it is a constructive vision. It attempts to unify micro and macro scale phenomena by rooting them in physically observable transformations, challenging the dominance of abstract mathematics without experimental feedback. If proven correct, this project could transform our understanding of energy conversion, redefine how light interacts with gravity, offer new insights into dark matter, vacuum energy, and the fate of mass in the universe.